This is Mario with MIA Microflight, and today is December the 3rd, 2024. Happy New Year to everyone. I wanted to do this video because I thought it would be worthwhile just to let people know. I don't have that many followers through my channel, at least not the way the algorithms work. They tend to obscure some of the some of the videos that people put, and I have my suspicions on how they do that, and I have mentioned that in a few comments in my videos and some other videos as well. But I'm not going to get too much into that. This video is more in reference to this particular company, Two Trees, and I just wanted to give them a shout out, although I've been doing that in my other videos, as I've been working with this machine here. This is a very nice machine. If you want to find out what my opinion is on this machine from a working standpoint, I work with these machines day in and day out. Part of my business that I've been running here since 1999 via MIA Microflight, which is my company making radio control products. My take on this machine is that it's a very nice machine from the standpoint of a solid base structure architecture. As you can see here, this setup right here is very clean, and I'm very particular about the control, the controller being part of the base itself embedded inside the machine. So and it's clean here, so that there are no external brackets, no external weird access points or access to the SD card. This machine has the SD card mounted right on the side, very nice and clean. All the AC outlet is on the side at the back of the machine. This machine is 300 by 300 by 400 in height. It's a very nice machine, and I'm really favoring this machine over the same company, Two Trees SP5, which is a Sapphire plus 5, which is the same dimensions as this machine, but that's a Core XY machine. I did some other videos on that machine, and I really like this machine. I'm favoring this architecture here, just a standard Cartesian versus the Core XY, because it's a lot easier to work on the machine, repair, do some maintenance, access the parts. It's in my opinion, it's a much better deal. I think the Core XY machines, even though I have designed my own, and I have some very unique Core XY machine that I also did, which nobody in the world has done something similar, I still favor these machines because they're a lot easier to work with. I mean, it's very logical. This rises, and the layers rise up as the part is being built, and the machine sits almost static on this. On the base here, although the base does move, it has to move back and forth, but you have the gantry, which is steady and rises. It may not be, a standard Cartesian may not be as solid in terms of rigidity as a Core XY machine, but if the machine is designed properly with the proper extrusions and the proper supports, it's going to perform. I have several Anycubic I3 Megas that I mentioned in various videos of mine, which have been producing excellent parts over the past, several years since that machine came out, and that's been my my go-to machines for parts that I include in many of my radio control kits, microlights, ultralights, autogyros, land yachts, helicopters, etc. That I've done, since establishing MIA Microflight. But coming back to this machine here, the Two Trees. Having said all that, I had a small issue with this machine here, where the controller here started to smoke. As you can see here, this has this smoke and burn stain here on the side of this connector here. This is the connector that goes to the bed here, to the hot end, and this is what supplies the 24 volts to the heating element of the bed. This yellow connector, I believe this is the one, is the sensor that comes from this thermistor that's embedded in at the bottom of this aluminum plate. There's an aluminum plate underneath this magnetic sheet here that holds this magnetic plate, removable plate. So that's all underneath. And so I had an issue with that where this started smoking, and when I opened up the machine, sure enough, that cable had burned along with the with this connector here. And although I got it back in working, I did reach out to two trees, and I mentioned them this issue here. I sent them a video because I did a similar video as I'm explaining this early on when this happened, and I sent it to two trees, and I've been on and off communicating with two trees via their chat at their official website and via their Facebook channel, and even through emails. And at some point, I this went on for a few weeks, and I thought, two trees really. I thought that they were not really paying attention to my emails, but you know what? Sometimes we just have to be a little bit patient with companies. Sometimes there's a language barrier, which I don't think should be an issue. These days, especially that everybody in the world sort of understands the universal language of English. So I actually received this a few days ago. They did send me the replacement parts. They did tell me via their chat that they were going to send me some. Apparently, they had placed an order for some replacement parts. When I asked them what exactly are they sending me, they weren't explicit. In fact, they didn't give me any details on what they were sending. So I thought it was I thought they were just giving me the runaround, but eventually, I believe they did execute that order, and they did send me the parts. So what I received is basically I received a new board here. If I can pull out that board, I received this a new board with the drivers there, and I believe this is the same board as the one that's there. Yeah, it looks like the same board, even the same, maybe the same version. This is a board. This board is a it says MKX Robin Nano version 1.2. MKX Nano version 1.2. And so this board that I received. Let's see if it's the same one. Yeah, it's the same one. It's MKS Robin Nano version 1.2. It's the same board. Okay, which is good, because I don't think there's anything wrong with the board. It's just that my take after going through and trying to figure out what went wrong here is that this wire right here was not properly installed via this screw here, this terminal, and it was floating on. Even though these wires are crimped with a little square tube, some of those wires were not making full contact with the screw here. And what I believe happened is that it was just on a few strands connected to this terminal, and when this was calling for 24 volts, more juice into the heating element, those wires could not keep up with the heat demand on those just a few strands that were connected to this end here. And so this started heating up, and eventually the sheeting, as you can see there, started burning. And that started creating a little fire here and smoke. Luckily, I was present to catch this. I don't like to leave my machines unattended, just as a safety measure. Although I have done that with my Anycubic i3 Megas, but that's because I have been running those machines for the longest times, and I really trust those machines. But I typically like to remain in my office, my shop where I run these machines, and also so that I can just visually inspect the parts as they're being printed. Sometimes you get clogs in the extruder, and sometimes you have to attend to those things, and being present just helps minimize waste and issues with the materials. So, but it is the same board. They did send me all the drivers are there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drivers with this board, and they did send me also the what you see here is a full plate here, aluminum plate, and these are thick. These plates are, I believe, this is probably 4 millimeters thick aluminum plate, which is a very nice plate, and it's got this connector here, same one as we see here. So so I got a brand new aluminum plate, and this is the plate that has the embedded heating element with the thermistor, and I believe the thermistor, yeah, the thermistor is part of the plate itself, and of course it's got the heating element. So they send me that and the board, so I can replace that. Once again, my apologies if I was too trees, if I was too lenient on them sending me the parts, or not trusting them. I did think at one point, like I said, that they were giving me the runaround, and maybe it was a lack of communication between different parties at their end, because I don't think when you go to their website and you establish a communication via chat, I don't think it's the same people that you establish communication via their Facebook page. So I think there are different maybe departments, and sometimes between departments in a company can sometimes somebody forgets to push a situation with a customer through, and sometimes miscommunication. Those things can happen. I'm not trying to find excuses. But I just wanted to say that they did come through with the parts that they said that they were going to send me for the issue that I had with this machine. And this just solidifies this machine credibility and just support. You just have to be a little bit patient, and that's what this video is all about. So I don't need right away to make these changes here, but when I have a little more time, I haven't been running this machine just because of this. This was of my concern here. This board right here. And because when things like this happen, most likely some other parts are probably going to fail in that process. So I am going to be taking some time to change this and put the new board and put the new heating element. And when I do these things, I myself, and that's the beauty about when you do it yourself and you know what you're doing, is that you double check on every little thing. So when I do this, I will make sure that everything is nice and properly set up and attached. This I believe this was an issue of quality control at the factory end. Somebody was probably in a hurry to build this machine and did not seat this cable properly into this connector. And you have to seat these cables properly. Number one, they have to be terminated where all the strands are together as a one thick cable. And when that is done properly, and that is properly connected to the output of the board that's supplying the voltage, the power, current is going to flow through that thing, nice and easy as it should be, and it's not going to overheat. I mean, it's the purpose of having thick wires, for according to the amount of current that you're going to pass through that wire. Everything has got to be properly set up and sized. But if you only have a few strands and somebody missed that during the assembly quality control at the factory, we're going to have issues. The machine will work, but at some point when this is drawing a little more current that you need, to heat up the table, it's probably going to heat up those wires, which is what happened here. As you can see here, that's scorched. Really bad on the side, and I can't see the back from this end, but given that it melted this wire, you can just assume what how the back also looks. But anyway, thank you to Trees. Just wanted to capture this on video and make it as part of my other series on this machine, which I really love this machine. The way they designed this, the axis here, it's very clever, you can access the board and you can see right away what's happening. In fact, when this issue happened, I pulled this right away. Imagine if this would have been underneath and I had to undo the machine underneath. It would have taken a lot more effort, a lot more time, to access the machine, and I wouldn't have been able to uh, understand fast enough what was happening, with the board. This having the board right here, it just makes life a lot easier. You can see what's going on because there's plenty of room here to see the board, even though these connections have to be almost done from the bottom. But it does allow you, to see what's going on in the board. You can see the LEDs. When this is operating properly, the LEDs flicker. There are LEDs that are associated with the outputs here for for both the hot end and the hot end at the nozzle and the hot end at the bedside. So you can see those flickering LEDs that are also associated with these MOSFETs, the output power MOSFETs that feed the proper the cycle, the voltage on and off, on and off, on and off, and that also tells you it's an indication whether the sensors are working properly. The thermistors that are attached to the hot ends. But anyway, so once again, this is Mario with MI Microflight. Two Trees Bluer Plus, one of the nicest machines that you can get out. For I don't even know if they still have these machines, because I bought these maybe a few months ago. And I bought it because this machine kind of resembled my Anycubic I3 Mega, had the same architecture. And when I got this machine, metal, everything is metal here. There's all these blue pliers are not plastic. This is metal. Even this feeder sensor mechanism is aluminum anodized. I mean, it's a beautiful machine. I did have some issues with this. With the feeder here mechanism, which has the gears. It's a dual gear setup here. They call these extruders, but this is not an extruder. This is a feeder. They should call these feeders, and this is the extrusion right here where it's happening, the extruder. So the feeder mechanism was off. It became a little bit offset in the gear mesh, and so I had an issue with the filament jamming. I did another video on that. Check it out. Minor things, if you're mechanically inclined, that you can fix yourself and you can reset those things. But the true value of this machine is in the components and the way that this is made. Even these wheels are, I believe, they're preloaded. You don't even have to adjust them. They're not they're not eccentric. You don't have to adjust them with with the eccentric nuts that you do. The bed has eccentric nuts that you can adjust and just tighten it up, the tightness on the track. But these, I believe, they're self-adjusting. I haven't looked too much into the mechanical geometry of this. I haven't had the need to. As the machine came, that's how I've been running it. But it is some of the nicest features of this machine, and this is this is aluminum extrusions, very similar to how other machines are built. But the beauty of this machine is that it's built very similar to a Anycubic i3 Mega on a solid base, and this base is much bigger than my Anycubic i3 Megas, because my i3 Megas are 200 by 200 by 300. This is 300 by 300 by 400, and I got this machine to do larger projects, not so much to do repetitive work as I do with my Anycubics for my products, because those machines I strictly do parts for my products. This machine was bought more for just around the home, personal things, toys and things for my grandkids and things of that nature. Build maybe some vases for my wife, or a little more for that type of work. And just to have a larger base, that I can put a much larger part, either X, Y, or in the Z direction. So, but it's a very, very nice machine, well built,